Well, welcome along to day 2 of the Royal Meeting at Ascot here on Channel 88. 4 races coming up live for you here this evening. First race due off at 9:30 local time here in Singapore. And pleased to say Scott Bailey is with me once again. Scott, last night, just to reflect on that, we saw a huge performance from one of your selections there in the shape of Poetic Flare, but a great first day to the Royal fixture and some big performances.
Yeah, it was a great day's racing night here in Singapore, but a lot of quality horses got the job done, and a few outsiders really shook the party up. So it was a great first day to the Royal Ascot week, and the likes of Palace Pier and Frankie Dettori getting the first Group 1 of the Royal Ascot meeting, and what better way to kickstart the carnival? Yeah,
I think it was 74 winners now for Frankie. Obviously a man who's got great experience at Ascot, and obviously a superb card it was as well. Looking ahead to this evening's action, 4 races coming up. As I say, the first 4 races on the programme live for you on this channel. We start with the Group 2 Queen Mary over the 1,006 metres for the fillies here, Scott, a 2-year-old's race. Very interesting race. Just down at the bottom there's 22 runners, so it's a really big field, a bit of a minefield really. I suppose we must start with the Americans. They look to have a strong hand. Wesley Ward and John Velazquez teaming up from gate 20 with Twilight Gleaming.
Yeah, very interesting runner from the Wesley Ward stable, like you said, Nick. They got a very strong record in this race. Since 2009, Wesley Ward has won this race 4 times. So he obviously knows what it takes to get a 2-year-old filly spot on and travel them across to England and win on the big stage. So I love stats like that, and I love that trainers prime their horses and prepare them for an event such as this.
Yeah, one very interesting one. It could be the Captrick winner, Illustrating, who looked to be very impressive when winning there. Aidan O'Brien fields a horse called Yet down at the bottom here.
Yep.
Ryan Moore will take the ride. Again, won at Dundalk on debut back in May. Clearly a horse that will progress. Obviously, my great hope last night at the Acropolis came a little bit unstuck, but that was a competitive race. I wouldn't lose full hope in him just yet. But a horse like Yet obviously has done nothing wrong just yet.
From a big stable that side of the world, and gets the addition of a tongue tie first time, so that could be a major player in this sort of field. But you got 22 horses to choose from these straight races. Some horses get a bit unlucky, and I think, judging by what we saw last night at the Royal Ascot meeting, the track looks to be running nice and fast.
It does indeed. Campanelle won this race last year for Wesley Ward. Can he win it again? I quite like the chance of a Newmarket trained horse here, Desert Dreamer, who's won both his races at HQ. He's been mightily impressive. I thought he was a decent chance at good odds, but it's a wide open race. How would you play this race for punters that are wishing to have a bet? I mean, if you had to suggest a sort of bet, are we looking at possibly an each way bet in this race?
I've leaned towards the shorter favourite here in Twilight Gleaming from the Wesley Ward stable. The stats are on the board that he knows what it takes to win this race, and the market fully supports that, and she's drawn barrier 20, so I think she's going to be on the right side of the stand.
Yeah, I'll go with the Oshie Murphy ridden Desert Dreamer. Internationally, I think double figure price, and I think could be a good price here this evening as well. So the favourite, Twilight Gleaming for Scott, and I've gone with Desert Dreamer in the Queen Mary. Moving on to race number 2, that is the Queen's Vase. It's a Group 2 race, has been elevated in status, this race, down through the years. It is over 2,847 metres, so stayers in action here, Scott. These very much young stayers, possibly cup horses in years to come, and cup horses not just in the UK but cup horses around the globe. I mean, we might see possibly in more relevance to yourself being an Australian, perhaps 1 or 2 Melbourne Cup type of horses in this.
Yeah, these are the races that form experts and professional punters, especially in Australia, when they're doing Melbourne Cup future bets and whatnot. These are the races where future Melbourne Cup winners are usually sourced. Big syndicates in Australia like to watch these races, and usually when they cross the finish line, the phones are ringing for offers to get them down under. So it's going to be a great race to watch, and there is a fair bit of depth in this field. It's quite a level betting event, I feel. And it's definitely one to really watch for the future.
Yeah, Aidan O'Brien's got a good record in this race. He's got quite a strong hand, I suppose, headed by Wordsworth, who is, I think, the likely favourite here. Ryan Moore takes the ride on him. Obviously, he's got some good form behind stablemate High Definition, who's certainly a very talented horse indeed. He's also got Arturo Toscanini up at the top as well. Wayne Lorden rides at a decent price. Really, really nice race. The Queen's got a runner here as well, a big price runner, Pied Piper. I would love to see the royal colours in the winner's circle, that's for sure. Where did your pin land in this race? I mean, it's a really intriguing race, this one.
Yeah, I've leaned towards the Godolphin Galloper in Kamari from the Charlie Appleby stable. Look, it was a nice one, a maiden by 6 lengths at his last start, and that was over the 11.5 furlong, which runs to 2,300 metres.
Like yeah.
So, look, obviously he can stay, and he's going to find the 2,800 metres no problem. And look, he's in a proven stable that know what it takes to get these young horses up to a distance and win at the big journeys on the big carnivals. So, yeah, look, I've leaned with number 6 Kamari, and gets a great jockey in William Buick in the saddle, who's a proven winner at the Royal Ascot meeting.
He certainly is. Poor old William, but a bad news from yesterday with an 11-day ban, but yeah. I'm sure he'll bounce back from that. Must give a mention to Stoll as well for Frankie Dettori. John and Thady Gosden trained that one. Only beat a couple of rivals at Ascot last time over 1.5 miles in a maiden, but typical John Gosden horse, progressing all the time, and he could be a very interesting runner. I'll go with Wordsworth in the second. He just looks one of those really progressive Aidan O'Brien, Galileo colts. All 3 of Aidens in this race by the great sire himself, Galileo. So looking forward to the Queen's Vase. That comes up at 10:05 this evening. Moving on to the mares then, the Duke of Cambridge Stakes Race 3, due off at 10:40. That's over the extended 1,600 metres. Where would you like to start here, Scott? Obviously the favourite, I think, more than likely internationally, will be the William Jarvis trained Lady Bowthorpe, who really, well, for William Jarvis, those that don't know, William Jarvis is a much smaller operator in Newmarket, but he's got a favourite here at Royal Ascot for a Group 2, so certainly wish him well. Yeah,
this is a very interesting runner, Lady Bowthorpe. Look, ran second to Palace Pier, who won with great authority last night, and that was in the Group 1, the Locking Stakes. So, look, Palace Pier form, if you sit back and take notice of what he did last night, to run second in that event, that's very good form up against the mares down the straight course here.
Yeah, indeed. Queen Power's another one in this race for connections that race here in Singapore. King Power, who obviously had the Cranji Mile winner with Minister, so it could be a really good couple of weeks for them. I think she's not without a chance. So Michael Stout, Sylvester de Souza teaming up around about 6 or 7 to 1 internationally. I thought she was certainly a chance as well. She's got some good form. And not forgetting a couple of others as well in this race. Parents' Prayer, who actually won at Epsom over the Derby Festival, would need to step up a little bit, but I think she can run a nice race. And Champers Elise up at the top, Johnny Murta, certainly knows what it takes to win at Royal Ascot as a jockey, and he'll be wanting to win there as a trainer. Yeah, no, I think, and also a very interesting bred horse is number 7, Furat, Ben Battle's younger sister. So Ben Battle was a proven performer on the world stage, so he could, if you're into your breeding and like horses that are related to proven performers, she could just be one that gets in under the radar. Yeah, she's very interesting. I think obviously in a race like this, breeding's certainly paramount going forward, isn't it, to the breeding barn. Queen Power for me though, I think she's the one I'll settle on here. Obviously not being far behind Lady Bowthorpe in the Dahlia Stakes and also the Middleton Stakes. She's got some very strong Group 2 form. Yeah, I'm leaning with Lady Bowthorpe here. Gets the Palace Pier form, and that to me is that's exceptional leading into an event like this, and I think the form's going to hold off all carnival behind these keynote runners. So I'm with number 2, Lady Bowthorpe. Yeah, nice mare indeed. Good little race that for the mares. And well, the feature race, excuse me, is race 4 of the evening. The final race will be taking at 11:20. It's the Prince of Wales' Stakes over 2,004 metres, so the extended mile and a quarter here for a race worth £700,000. That's a lot of money. Group 1 in status, a field of 7. A really good race. I would be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to seeing Love back in action. We've got last year's winner Lord North in here as well, and not forgetting a bit of international flavour with Armoury. So it's just a super race. Yeah, I think this is the one we're all going to be twiddling our thumbs before as they load into the barriers for this race. Look, I really lean towards Armoury in this, Nick. The Aidan O'Brien train, he ran second to Sir Dragonet on a very rain-affected Moonee Valley track in the Cox Plate last spring. And for those that aren't aware, the Cox Plate is our weight for age championship race of Australia. It's 2,040 metres at Moonee Valley, and I think we're going to get a couple of Cox Plate contenders this year that are running in this field. Quite possible. It is quite possible indeed. One or two may well wish to take the trip down. And look, just on Love, obviously she's a very, very classy mare indeed. Obviously winning all 3 of her races last year. Group 1s, This will be her first run though against males, older males that is, and may just find this trip just a little bit on the sharp side, but she's all quality. I mean, the way she won her Oaks last year and the way she won the Yorkshire Oaks as well was mightily impressive. So, I mean, if anyone can do it, Scott, Aidan O'Brien can. First time out, Group 1, Royal Ascot. The task doesn't get much harder, really.
Ryan Moore on board as well, so she's got a lot in her favour, and like you said, it is a challenge going up against the older boys in these sort of races. So it's going to be a race, and I think tactics are going to play a big part in an event like this. Yeah,
and obviously we must give due diligence to Lord North, winner of this race last year, and obviously then went and raced successfully overseas as well. So it's a very, very good race. I mean, interesting on the weights anyhow. You've also got a Breeders' Cup winner in here as well, Adea, who's carrying 56 kilos. So the fillies, the mares, will receive a kilo from the boys as well. Good old Desert Encounters turning up for the party. I don't think there's a Group 1 that goes by when he doesn't run, but he's an
honest competitor in the big races, isn't he?
Well, he won 2 Canadian internationals as well, so he's a winner at the highest level, albeit that race perhaps not the strongest Group 1 known to man. But anyway, we don't mind winning Group 1s, whatever they are.
Whether they're this side of the world or over there, they're still great to win, aren't they?
They certainly are. Look, I'll go with Love. I just think she's a lovely filly. I've been a massive fan of hers since she first set foot on a racecourse, and she's an absolute gorgeous animal. So yeah, Love for me.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Armory, the Aidan O'Brien trained runner, and he's a proven performer on the international stage, and I think the conditions here suit. Got a lovely barrier and gets Shamie Heffernan in the saddle, so he rides extremely well for the operation.
He certainly does. That's a look at the 4 races then on this evening's programme. I hope you enjoyed last night's coverage. More still to come, obviously, throughout the course of the week. We're only up to day number 2 here, but I mean, yesterday, obviously, well done to you. Obviously, Pertic Flair, you flagged up, and he won. Obviously, the Acropolis, I think in what was a competitive race, came there with his chance, but obviously couldn't quite get the job done. As far as a best bet goes, or a suggestive bet, shall we say, for today's card, I really do like this horse in the first, Desert Dreamer. He's done nothing wrong, and for those that don't quite know Newmarket, the Rowley Mile course, stiff uphill finish. Once you hit them bushes, you really have to accelerate and obviously climb, and he's done that twice at Newmarket. For those that don't know, Stuart Williams, very, very astute trainer. He's very astute. He knows the time of day. You've got Oisin Murphy riding, who rode a winner last night. So I won't necessarily say, in inverted commas, the best bet, but as a suggestive bet, I think Desert Dreamer at a good price in the first might not be the worst way to go.
Yeah, I'm actually I'm with you in race 1 as my best of the first 4 races on the card. I went with the Wesley Ward Twilight Gleaming. I like the fact that Wesley Ward knows what it takes to win these races, and the record proves that over the last 10 years or so. So I'm leaning towards Twilight Gleaming in race 1 as my best for tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So perhaps the first race could get you off to a pretty good start. Twilight Gleaming for Scott, Desert Dreamer for me, and obviously you got our views there on some of the better races, or the Group 1s anyway, further on this evening's card. Obviously Love, I think, in the big one, could take the world of stopping there, nice and fresh, and Wordsworth in the Queen's Vase. So looking forward to tonight, Scott, as well. Obviously still plenty more to come this week, and not forgetting obviously that we've got a 12 race card on Saturday, and that's not to be missed either.
It's a busy week racing here and abroad, so there's a lot to tune in for, and a lot of action happening.
It certainly is. Many thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy the coverage this evening. Coming up very shortly here on Channel 88, day 2 of the Royal Meeting from Ascot. Don't go anywhere. You can watch the first 4 races live here on this channel.